Welcome to another exhilarating episode of Comic Book Straight Talk, brought to you from the secret basement inside one of America's oldest comic shops, Tulsa's own The Comic Empire. Now, true believers, open up your ear holes and get ready to have your head filled with the best comic book knowledge this galaxy can handle. That's right, it's time for another nerd overload with Comic Book Straight Talk.
Welcome back to Comic Book Straight Talk. This is Dalian.
This is Terry.
Kenny.
Carrington.
And we are going to talk about the Harvey nominations. Were a couple weeks ago. We're kind of a little late, but between life and back to school and stuff, we're doing it now.
Oh, we didn't even do a mic check either.
Oh, we didn't? I know, right.
We're recording?
Yeah, we are recording, so.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let me make sure. Just like right into it.
Right into it. I know, I'm sorry. I wasn't, Terry wasn't prepared, so we kind of caught him off guard. That's okay. So, you were kind of talking about the history before we started recording. They were actually started at the Baltimore Comic-Con, you were telling me.
What did?
The Harvey Awards. The Harvey Awards, yes.
And they stopped for a few years and then started back up when it got moved to New York.
Yeah.
So.
Reed Pop took over the New York Comic-Con. That's when they started doing them again.
So the Harvey nominations for Book of the Year.
Which actually are based off of the Harvey, the history. The Harvey Kurtzman was the original EC artist and writer, so he has his own awards, apparently, because the Eisner's wasn't good enough.
Harvey likes to have...
Harvey wants his own awards, yes. I'm sorry, Book of the Year. You want to go with that one? Is that what you're going to start with before I interrupted you? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What do you have? What do you have for the Book of the Year, Terry? What do they have?
The ones they have there, I was thinking, I don't know. I mean, there's... I would probably go with Monstrous, I guess. That would be my Book of the Year.
The ones they have nominated are Black Hammer.
Black Hammer Secret's Origins is good.
Boundless. Everything is Flammable. Hostage. Kindred. Lighter Than My Shadow. Some of these I've never even heard of. Monstrous, I've heard of that one. We all have. My favorite thing is Monsters. Roughneck. Shade the Changing Girl. Spinning, and The Customer's Always Wrong, The Flintstones, and The Prince and the Dressmaker.
That's a good list of a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, because I've only heard probably about 4 of these books. So,
I would go with The Flintstones.
The Flintstones.
Flintstones is a fun book. I've read some of it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be any good, but it's halfway
And
decent.
I like the art in Monstrous. The art is gorgeous.
Yes,
but
the art is gorgeous.
I could
but
not
the story
read the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, of the 2, I would have to say, well, of the 3 that I know of, I'd say, I've heard The Shade the Changing Girl was actually pretty good, but I have not really got all into it.
Don't bother.
But yeah, I would go Monstrous for the art, really. I haven't read The Flintstones, so.
Digital Book of the Year.
What do you got for that, Terry?
I guess Barrier by Brian K. Vaughan, because that's the only one I've looked at.
Do you want to list what they are? I mean, you're just
I can. I mean, do you want to go over every I mean, like Best Children or Young Adult book, I have no idea. I haven't read any children or young adult books.
Well, okay, of the 2 for the digital books, it's a toss-up for me. I have not checked out Barrier, but I am familiar with all 3 of the creators on that, so... but actually, for me, it'd probably be Bandette. Because I love Paul Tobin as a writer, and it's a fun series. Bandette by Paul Tobin and Colleen Coover.
I don't see anything called Bandette.
It's the very first one under digital books.
Bandetta?
There's no Bandette. There's no.
It's Bandette.
It's Bandette. There's no A at the end of that.
Sounds like you're saying Ben. Dead though.
I'm saying Bandette.
Okay.
Bandette.
Like Bandit, but Bandette.
Yeah, it's French. Yeah.
French.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah, it's kind of. She's this. She's a superhero. She's a thief by night and a like a library clerk by day or something. And it's a fun kids book. I really actually enjoy it, and so I highly recommend it over Barrier. But
so why isn't that in the Best Children or Young Adult book as well?
Well,
I guess it wasn't digital, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, I got nothing on the best children or young adult book.
Well, what about the best adaptation from a comic book or graphic novel?
Well, I did not know that Atomic Blonde was based off of a comic book.
Out of all of these that were listed, all these are pretty decent, but amazingly, of the ones listed, I would probably go with the End of the Effing World.
End of the Effing World,
End
really?
of the Effing World, yes. It's on Netflix.
I'd go Wonder Woman.
And it was really interesting because at first it's really hard to like those characters.
Was Wonder Woman 2017?
I guess. It's on
Be
the list.
considered for 298. Oh, wow.
But the characters grow on you as they grow in the story. So it's worth checking out.
I would say either Wonder Woman or the Lego Batman movie.
You know, the Lego Batman movie is the best Batman movie we've had
Carrington,
in the last few
what would
years.
You go with?
For what?
The best.
I'm sorry.
Best adaptation
From a comic book or graphic novel. So best movie of a comic book or graphic novel.
Definitely Lego Batman.
You'd probably go with Attack on Titans, although it's not listed here.
Exactly.
There you go. In the Carrington Awards,
Yeah.
Attack on Titan wins
with
every
everything.
category.
I mean, for me, it's a toss-up. I mean, Wonder Woman, Thor, Riverdale,
Have either of you
Black
had a chance
Panther.
to watch The End of the Effing World?
No, I haven't. But have you've seen it, though?
Yeah, that's like I was saying. You got to give it a little bit of a chance because at first it's hard to like the characters. And
That's not the one that was on NBC at first, was it? Where the people live in the nuclear silo and then they come out and then...
No.
Okay, thank goodness, because that was horrible.
Why wouldn't
that was a Stephen King thing, wasn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Why wouldn't I Kill Giants? Or is
Right.
that for next year?
That may be next year. Maybe the cutoff or something. I don't know what the cutoff was. Best manga.
Have you
I'm
read any of those
sorry,
mangas
but
My Brother's Husband, My Hero Academia, My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness, Tokyo Ghoul, and Your Name.
You read any of
What
those?
you got?
I've never read any of them, but I've seen Tokyo Ghoul and My Hero Academia.
okay. I was hoping those were the ones she was going to say she's seen. So wait a minute. Go ahead.
Probably My Hero Academia. Just because it has its epic moments and its funny moments.
And I've heard that. I've heard from...
Tokyo Ghoul's actually kind of depressing.
Yeah, very.
There you have it. Resident manga expert.
Yes. The best European book, Audubon, On the Wings of the World, California Dreamin', Cast Elliot Before the Moms and the Papas, Flight of the Raven, Ghost of Gotti, and Ladies in Waiting. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know all those. I'll go with California Dream.
I was
because
gonna-
I like the song.
And I like the Mamas and the Papas. Wow. You know, the Harveys, they're more kind of the avant-garde.
They really actually reduced their amount of nominations down, too. I mean, they used to have a whole lot of more nominations than this in the past, and a lot of spin-offs as well. Well, that was entertaining.
Well, I mean, they've always long recognized comic book excellence, honoring industry professionals in the United States and internationally. Well,
Is that all of them?
That's it. Yeah.
That was a long discussion.
Oh, wow.
Dal was wanting to make this one whole episode.
I thought there were more. Wow, that's surprising.
That's
I mean, because Eisner's, you have like
Yeah, the
a lot
Eisners
more.
is a lot more. Right.
But I guess what you call the Eisners the Oscars, and you'd call the Harveys the
Golden Globe. It wouldn't be the
was gonna-
People's Choice Award.
No.
Or none of those books would have been nominated.
no, more like the Foreign Legion Press. I guess those are the Golden Globes, aren't they? So
Well, all right.
yeah, that's kind of. I mean, well, those
Now
were
I
kind
want to
of.
rant about Moon Knight 200.
Okay, let him get this rant because he's going to go in a message group that he has been ranting about this on and on.
Well,
So
Moon Knight
what-
200
in 2 months.
They have a
2
St.
months.
Cabbage cover that's coming out. It's kind of going back to an older style of his.
His
But
best
it's a-
style from the
but
70s.
it's-
I'm going to interrupt your rant occasionally. His best style. It's what they're basing it on from the 70s.
And it's a 1 in 500. How many stores are going to get this book and it's going to be available to the public?
Now, is it a 1 in 500 or is the remastered Virgin cover 1 in 500?
From what I understand, it's a...
Because Amazing
that's
Spider-Man,
the only way it is.
Amazing Spider-Man 800 had a Mobius cover, and they had the Mobius cover as a variant, and then they had the Mobius remastered 1 in 500.
It doesn't matter. The fact is that there's
1 in
a 1 in
500
500 of Moon Knight. We're not talking about Uncanny X-Men or Amazing Spider-Man or Batman. We're talking about Moon Knight.
Do we need a 1 in 500 and a 1 in 1,000 and a 1 in 100
No.
variant? No. 1 in 10, 1 in 5, 1 in 10, 1 in 25, 1 in 50 if you have to, and that should be it. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead and continue your rant.
It's a book I would order if I could get a hold of it. But 1 in 500, our store here isn't going to get it, and there's not even some larger stores are not going to be getting any of this.
If you took all of the comic shops in Tulsa, which including vintage stock, there's like what 12.
Something
Oh,
like
you
that, yeah.
combine all of them, and they won't order 500. It's ridiculous.
No, and if I was going to buy a Moon Knight cover, I'd go the tan cover. Sorry, I like the tan cover better.
Of all of them.
But I like the
Decent.
art. I do like the art on the Sienkiewicz variant. I do, because it goes back to the classic 70s Sienkiewicz Moon Knight art.
So, I just want to get that off my chest there.
Do you feel better?
I do. I feel a little bit better.
Do you feel that the world is better now because you got that rant out?
I do. It's much better now. I feel
Okay.
much better. Okay.
I don't. You should rant some more.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's.
I mean,
the Harveys only took 10 minutes.
I do like some. I do like variants for the most part. I just think we're getting just too many variants now.
Oh, I agree.
That kid outside was obviously angry about
He was.
it.
I heard a kid run by the
He's
store.
hungry.
He
He's
went
angry about all
Super
these-
Saiyan out there.
Man.
And I mean, there's always going to be
don't
something
make
you
him mad.
can't get, but this puts it completely in the impossible
I think-
realm of a comic book to get.
I think 1 in 50 should be the limit on any
Right.
variant.
I agree. And you make that one the special one. Make that one the, Sienkiewicz remastered, or, the Jack Kirby, tribute signed, tribute, whatever,
Right.
Signed Kirby book?
Exactly. I can get you a signed Kirby art piece, We were talking about that the
I
other day.
can get him to sign it for you today, probably.
Today, we were talking about that last week, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, in San Diego.
In San
that art
Diego, about that
gallery.
guy, yeah.
He's going to get you a signed print from Kirby.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a kind of an old joke that, we went to San Diego several years ago, and all of us walked by this art dealer, and he had was the FF48, wasn't it?
I think so.
And that someone had done, and he was, and the dealer was like, I was looking at the price, I was like, hey, how much? And and the guy's like, oh, I don't know, but I can get it signed for you too. And we all were like, oh, really? Signed by Jack Kirby, okay. Obviously, the dealer didn't know what he had, so that's kind of the running joke, so we can get it signed by Kirby. Anyway, we were kind of discussing about some art. You wanted to talk about some art stuff? Speaking of Kirby, and kind of segue into that for the variants. Are we doing the variants?
I'm not trying to, just like the guy. Well, that guy, I don't know. He didn't like Land, but he was bringing up just a good discussion point. A YouTuber. I can't remember which YouTuber it was now.
Was it?
I don't know who it was.
It wasn't our discussions and
DNC.
DNC. Yeah,
It wasn't DNC.
It wasn't DNC.
no.
Okay,
But I don't think he's a fan of Greg Land.
No,
either.
he wasn't. He
But
wasn't
his
a fan of
his
Greg
thing
Land.
is that Greg Land's people are too stiff, and
right.
but not like this YouTube video that you messaged out.
Right, and he was discussing how Greg Land, and every artist does this, but I think he was trying to make it a point that Greg Land specifically does it probably more often than anybody else, and that is basically copy other people's artwork and art style, as well as use models. I mean, everybody uses models, but he was making a point to say that Greg Land himself just used it to an overabundance, and that has affected his artwork, and that he no longer has much creativity because he relies on sort of a, what would you call it, just photorealistic, but also he's just popping stuff in. He's not really creating, he's just dropping stuff in now.
Yeah. He's drawing the photo exactly as it is on his computer screen. Yeah.
Well, and what's, I know Alex Ross did the same thing.
But Alex Ross would tend to use his own models.
Right, I'm talking about the models. I'm sorry.
Back up.
Their own models and stuff,
and covers and stuff. But he was going to the point that Greg Land used it in the entire piece of the book. All throughout the book.
And I can't draw worth crap. I can draw stick figures. If I ever do a book, it's going to be a stick figure theater book. But and I know you can. You're a graphic designer. I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's not rocket science, though.
I wasn't saying anything. No, and you trying to write and trying to draw this like a fight scene, though. I mean, you kind of have to use like models and stuff like that to kind of see. Hey, this punch is going to look like this. If I put this punch this, okay,
right. You need to know all that stuff, how it works and how it looks, and but eventually, you at least. I mean, even Neil Adams, when I was in a line to get his signature,
said wasn't at dinner.
No, it wasn't at the dinner.
When you didn't talk to him about dinner.
He was talking to a kid about starting out drawing. He says, you start out tracing, which is fine. I mean, that's the way you get to learn the movements and then the small things within the form of the body and how it works. But when does it start to affect? This guy was also talking about for any writer, or not writer, but artist, when does it start to affect your art? I mean, to where you're no longer really creating, you're just popping in other pieces, and it's.
Well, there's some points that the guy made that were valid. Like, Greg Land's art is stiff now, but his problem was that he draws all his women sexy.
That was part of it, yeah.
And what? Who cares? And the other thing was that, you can see that he clearly copied Brian Boland's Joker here. Yeah, everyone did. For like 20 years, Joker was drawn the way Boland drew it. But he did point out, though, that it was almost exactly the same panel. But
yeah, every artist, his point was, not only did he swipe a lot of our artwork throughout entire issues of a book, but he's just doing it way too much.
And he's not changing it at all. He's like drawing the exact same lines and everything. So they were valid, but to criticize someone's art when you have the most ridiculous Captain America cover hanging up behind you, I mean...
When does it also, though, when does it become, instead of homage, which, you could say it's kind of homage that he's doing that, when does it actually start becoming more of a plagiaristic issue?
I mean, if you went through comic books, every comic book, and accused the artist of plagiarizing every time they ripped off a panel, you'd have like 3 artists left.
Sure. Same with writers. You went looked at every script. Hell, every Stan Lee book is almost the same cookie cutter book. You can almost throw all those out. No offense, but
he did point out the one where it did become an issue, and that was the famous Doctor Strange, Amy Grant.
But it wasn't that they used someone's photo for a art reference.
But that wouldn't land, though.
That wouldn't land.
It was that they used Amy Grant on Doctor Strange. that was the problem.
I still need to find that.
If they'd have used Amy Grant on, say, Hulk or Daredevil, probably with Daredevil she probably would have. But
or like
Amazing Dazzler. Spider-Man or whatever. Dazzler. She wouldn't have cared, or her representation wouldn't have cared. But the fact that they used it on Doctor Strange was
just tied into the magic.
But then a lot of them also use, not just they use models that they haven't hired either. They'll see something from a model in a magazine. So some photographer took that picture, and he's not getting credit for it.
Right.
So.
Well, and I think today though also with the reader, and I'm not saying that the readers from the past are stupid, or everything, but the readers now are so hypersensitive.
Yes.
And so...
As are the creators.
Right.
And I'd say it's more the creators that are hypersensitive than the fans.
But, I mean, to know that, oh my God, Greg Land put in the Statue of Liberty in this issue of Daredevil that he happened to draw, and he only had 3 windows in the crown instead of 6. You know, that kind of anal retentiveness of comic fans is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I don't care that the Marvel Statue of Liberty has 3 windows. Who cares? Did it affect the story? Obviously, no. If I didn't know, it didn't.
It did for them.
Well, it did for them, but you know what? You need to go back to kindergarten and read the stories in kindergarten then.
But, see, to me, the whole Greg Land hate is tired. It's been going on for, what, 8, 9 years now?
Yeah, and before that, it was...
over, okay? Get on with your life.
Well, before Greg Land, it was, the whole Image group, was hated on.
And if
Silvestri.
you hate...
I know you have issues with Silvestri,
Well,
so,
hey, that was because of how he treated me, not because of his
art.
I love his art.
But people were bashing his art, and all that, because he was the Greg Land at the time,
Hypersexualized.
Yes,
whatever.
and it's, as I've gotten older, I have decided I do not like comic fans.
I don't like comic creators.
I don't like fans, and when I say fans, I don't mean that the average, the person that reads a book that enjoys it for the fun. I mean the fans that take it.
So what you really hate is Twitter.
Twitter, I guess, yes. The fans that take it to the next level that say, well, this would never happen because this and this. Okay, you know what? We're talking about a fictional character. I don't care. I enjoy the character. I don't need. Yeah, Twitter.
Well, we're doing a podcast, so aren't we sort of those fans as well?
But we're not,
because talking about
we are,
stuff
but we're
like
not. But we're not like shaming people over their dislike of this or dislike of that.
I don't know. I'm shaming you a lot.
We're not shaming J. Scott Campbell because he drew Tiger Lily as an adult and made her sexy.
Yeah,
right.
Telling him he's a pedophile.
Right. I mean, and it's happening that way just in the comic fandom, the gaming fandom, the movies, the Star Wars fandoms.
Funny though,
all the fanboys are just really over them, or just go ahead.
What's funny is they're starting to attack anime now, and the Japanese creators are like, "We understand your complaint. We're not changing it."
Yeah, and okay, you didn't like Star Wars: The Last Jedi? Fine, but don't take to Twitter and body shame the person who as an actress, or you don't like the Raven costume,
and
so don't blame the actress.
It wasn't the Raven costume; it was the Starfire costume. And it was utter garbage.
It was garbage, but it's not the actress's fault.
And like I said, if somebody is attacking the actress, that is wrong.
Right.
Let them attack the costume all day long because it was garbage.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
But a lot of the time, people will critique something like Rose Tico in The Last Jedi and say, this character was awful. And then they get piled on saying that they're sexist and they're this phobe and that phobe, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
So you need to separate the art from the artist. Yeah, well, so do you. Mm-hmm.
It's a back and forth. Yes, both sides do. See what you started? Ranting?
I was just talking about...
I know.
We're at a point in society now where critiquing something is attacking the creator.
You can't have an opinion about something. And if you do, obviously it's wrong to the rest of society. What happened to it's my opinion? I mean, that's kind of...
Well, you're entitled to your opinion, even though it's wrong.
It's wrong, right. But yeah, the Greg Land. Can bring it back to Greg Land here. I've always enjoyed his art.
I do too. I don't have a problem with it. I do think, yes, it's stiff.
It has gotten a little stiff.
I enjoy his art.
Yes.
I did understand some of the guys' points.
They all have the same expressions. But
and most of them are from porn artists. Or not porn figures.
What?
You didn't catch that portion of it?
I actually haven't got to see the whole thing. I was driving home.
What
last
he does
night,
is
so.
he turns the filter off on Google image search.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So
He uses a lot of the porn actresses to get, because there's some of them that are beautiful and stuff, and
they make great facial expressions.
but some of them are not. Since the way the way Land does it, some of those facial expressions don't really work in the situations he's putting them in.
Right.
But you know what, though? The panel where he said that they were all supposed to look scared or surprised or whatever, they all had the same facial expression, but that guy pointed out Sue Storm's facial expression as being wrong. And I'm like, but they all had the same expression on their face. So, I don't...
Well,
you can nitpick any artist.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know we've nitpicked,
Well, my main thing was,
everything.
when is it? No, when is it no longer actually you creating something as opposed to
Just
basically plagiarizing it,
cutting and pasting
it?
Right. Well, and going back,
that's art too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one said you have to draw from memory.
Well, no, and I think today, with everyone wanting to be so realistic on their art, and the fans wanting, I want a more realistic art, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, we do get a lot of that now. I mean,
what does this guy think of Paul Galassi? He hates Greg Land so much. What does he think of Paul Galassi?
Galassi was just, Land's in that same school. I mean, I'm not going to say he's an exact copy, but I mean,
I wouldn't compare Greg Land to Paul Galassi because Galassi's a legend, but he does a lot of photo reference too.
Exactly. And so does Steranko.
Yeah.
Steranko's the first one to tell you, I use photo reference in my stuff. It's what he told us. I don't know. I mean, I just think we're at a point where I want to start seeing things go back to, how it was in the 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s on the art, where I don't have to know every blade of grass detail in Central Park, kind of thing. I want the kind of the blanket,
You just want a blanket of grass.
Yeah.
You want...
I don't... I know what I'm trying to say, and I think you know what I'm saying.
I
You
know
want
what I'm saying.
generic city land...
Yes! Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
Generic city skyline 1 and generic city skyline 3. And,
yes.
Yeah.
Everything doesn't have to be so specific nor detailed.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, do we know what building Spider-Man swung across in Avengers 55? No.
I try to figure out every building that he swings across.
We have a friend that probably does know that, but, but
Gary.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, and speaking of legends, I had to take my youngest daughter back to school, Heather, back to Georgetown, Texas, and so I didn't get a lot of this. I've seen the video, but we will post it up on the website, and I'll watch it tonight, or on the Facebook. But I saw Russ Heath passed away.
Yep.
I did see that bit of news last night, so...
so that's 2 legends in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when we went to San Diego.
Steve Ditko.
Ditko, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, I got to
Well,
see
and I saw this morning that Neil Simon, saw a little bit ago, Neil Simon passed away. Not that he's in comics, but he did write a lot of plays, and he is an author, which I'm sure some of his plays were kind of loosely adapted from comics. So,
from comics or
two comics? Two comics. Sorry, 2 comics.
I'm lucky I got to see Russ Heath when he was in San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
and I have spoken with Steve Ditko, so that's cool.
Now, sir, you took it a step farther than just talking. You were stalking the man.
I was not
He was
stalking
in
him.
line to buy coffee at the restaurant, at the corner store, and you, sir, you're my favorite artist, and you created one of my favorite characters. You know what he told you? He said, "Get out of my way. I'm buying coffee." No, I'm kidding.
that's
I'm
not
kidding.
how
He
it
didn't
went
do
at
it. No. But you did talk to him. You did talk to him on the phone. Yes, you
shortly.
did. Yes.
I kept the conversation short and to the point.
Good. So not at all fanboyish. No,
not really.
I didn't actually get to meet Russ. Well, I don't know if I met him in San Diego when we went or not. Probably did.
Yeah, there was nobody at his table, pretty much. No.
I met Russ Heath in Kansas City.
Now, did he do Warren stuff?
Yes, but I didn't. I didn't know that he was in San Diego when we went. So I didn't get him to sign it.
Did you?
But he did sign my Betty Page, what was it, Betty Page, Queen of the Nile trade paperback. So I have it signed by Jim Silk, Dave
nice.
Stevens, Russ Heath, and Frank Cho did the foreword, and he signed it too. So
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've discussed it before. Kenny's got this book. It's called the Warren Archives.
Warren Companion.
Warren Companion. And he's taken it to all the cons he's gone to the last 10, 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, and they're getting people to sign it. And it's really cool. That's actually one of the things I think that's awesome about that, is that all the artists, because I've asked him, did this person work on it? Yes. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
It's like, I didn't work for Warren.
Yeah. I never worked. Yes, you did.
Steranko did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah, you did on this issue right here. See? Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, I guess I did.
Well, and I think one of the funniest things is one of the writers you have is Buddy Saunders from Lone Star,
Mm-hmm.
which I think sounds like
My Comic Shop.
My Comic Shop. That's right, mycomicshop.com. So, but yeah, Russ Heath. I guess I saw he passed away, and that's a friend of mine, Mark Walters, down in Dallas, a friend of his, and so I saw he posted about it, and so he had a picture of him and Russ together, and so. But yeah. So what else you got?
I don't know what else.
Anything you want to talk about?
No,
We're open mic. What do you want to talk,
Gotten
Carrington?
it off my
How
chest.
far are you on Attack on Titan?
I've seen every episode at least twice.
No, we're season 2.
3.
3, okay. Every episode's been out so far.
So you need to
Twice.
start over again and watch it again. You got a couple days, you're going to be off, I believe. That's what
You're also reading the mangas, though, aren't you reading them also? Okay. No, are you reading just the Attack on Titan, or are you like reading Attack on Titan Aaron story and all these like the little sub-stories, or are you just reading the main book?
Just the name.
Well, you read the one with Levi.
Yeah, the
Levi, that's his name, not Aaron.
Levi Jeans?
No.
Oh.
I've seen some Attack on Titan. I got to where he turned into the Titan.
That's in
And
season 1.
It's in season 1.
It's like
so,
halfway through season
so
1.
I've seen half of season 1.
So you've watched like 8 episodes.
Well, that's they released all. That's all they'd released it in here, and so then that was it. And so I hadn't gone back to watch anymore yet.
Did you watch today's episode?
Was it good?
I've seen the trailer.
I'll say I tried to watch it a couple of years ago, and I hated it. And then she started watching it, so I was like, well, I need to know what it is she's watching. So I started watching it, and about 6 or 7 episodes into the first season, it gets really good.
Yeah. Like I said, about the time he turns
Yeah,
into
right
the Titan.
about the time when he turns into a Titan, it gets really good.
And then, see, back when I was watching it, that's where they stopped. And so I just haven't come back to watch it lately. I do want to give we had discussed,
That's not that far into season 1, is it?
it's like 8 episodes, isn't
Because
it?
he got beaten in like episode 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's episode 6 or 7, yeah, around there.
I think it was 7.
It's sad that she knows that.
It is. We had talked before about Kickstarters and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and is it the O1 Publishing?
Zero One
Publishing. I know you said Mike ordered some stuff. I was gonna. I got some of those, so I'm gonna be reading those, and we'll talk about those. Because I know Terry got the case files, didn't you?
Yeah, I got both of the books.
And you haven't read them yet, though.
No, I just got them today. So
Okay.
No,
And I'll get mine today, so we'll talk about that probably in a couple of weeks and discuss that. So.
And Kenny, you are backing another one here recently?
I've backed a lot of them.
Kenny's Kickstarters. There was one I
just
saw.
remember, I thought you talked about you backed
A
another
Lady
one here
Death one,
recently.
wasn't Did you do
No,
Lady
I
Death
didn't.
one?
I didn't do Lady Death this time because I've had to replace my roof and I'm low on funds.
My
Well, I
question
would have
is-
liked to have backed the Lady Death one, but in order to get that Art Germ cover, you have to get
It
an
was
actual
144.
cover itself.
Oh,
You can get the
man.
print,
Yeah.
but to get a cover is like, wow.
$144.
Wow.
Yeah.
There was one I saw that.
And that's
But
limited to
So
it.
far, I have backed Jawbreakers, Jungle Comics from Chuck Dixon, Ravage Kill All Men, also from Chuck Dixon, Red Rooster from the Bright Wisers, Beatdown Girl, Iron Sight, and Stardust. And then Blake Northcott's novel.
Oh, Stardust. I think we talked about that one. I remember hearing about it, but I was thinking, every time I think of Stardust, I think of the Neil Gaiman.
And then Blake Northcott's new novel, The North Valley Grimoire.
There's one I saw called Magnus that looked pretty good. And it's like for $40 you get like, digital copy of one, the regular copy, the exclusive cover. But if you spend $140, you get to be a cop in the second issue.
I'm still waiting on this one I backed about 10 to 15 years ago for a video game. It still hasn't come out.
And there's one called Blue Mamba that was on Kickstarter, and I'm not sure if they didn't meet their goal or I don't remember what happened, but they moved it to Indiegogo and they were funded in like 6 hours.
Nice.
And that's the one with the Ali Garza art.
Okay, I remember. Yes.
And
it's already over with though.
No, because they went to Indiegogo.
So it's okay. So you can.
I think there's a few days left on it.
Cool. Yeah, that's the thing is I don't want a digital copy of these things. I would like to have a physical copy. I read my comics digitally.
The thing with the digital ones, though, is that you can back it for cheap.
Right.
I mean, if you don't have a lot of money, you can give them $4 or $5. Most of them don't charge a whole lot for the digitals.
Right. Which isn't bad.
I mean, yeah, I like to have physical copies for all mine, but I mean, digital does have its place. But at the same time, anything digital, that for me, that goes with music, games, etc., etc. If you're just getting it digitally, it seems like it can be taken away, like Amazon, or not Amazon, excuse me, Amazon, but Netflix.
Well, Amazon too. If you buy it, didn't download it, yeah. I mean,
well, Netflix every month their license ends, and they have X amount of movies and TV shows that expire, and they're no longer available. I mean, so you buy the physical copy, you pretty much have the physical copy.
That's the thing with the books. People were buying the books off Amazon, and then they would lose the license.
Yeah,
and
a long time ago they did that, and all of a sudden their books that were on their Kindred just disappeared.
You mentioned,
they lost the license.
mentioned gaming, and it kind of ties in with the comics. I've been kind of. We were at CollectorCon a few weeks ago, and there was another dealer I was talking to, and he said he's been getting into playing the Battle Chasers game.
Okay.
And we were talking about it, and he showed me some of the screenshots. I was like, man, this looks like they took the comic and did everything perfect. And so that's actually one I'm probably going to go back and get on PS4 and start playing it. I don't know if you've ever played it or not, but
I have not.
Have you ever seen it?
I may have seen it, but I'm not recalling.
It's an RPG, and so it's going to be your tip. But it's Joe Mad art, so I mean it's beautiful. But yeah.
Is it
which is what he left the comic industry to go do.
Japanimation type storyline?
It kind of is. It's fantasy.
Okay.
It actually follows the Battle Chaser story.
I mean, I like fantasy, but just here lately I've gotten tired of the Japanimation type storyline.
I mean, if you've seen the book Battle Chasers, that's what the characters look like. You've got Red Monica, you've got Callisto.
It's kind of almost like a steampunk fantasy type.
Have you ever read Battle Chasers?
No, I do not think I have.
Holy crap and mola. I'll have to let you borrow Battle Chasers then.
It was good.
It was, yeah. Yeah, it was good, and then he left, and it's just like he kind of leaves you hanging. It's like, what? I like that book Soul Saga by another guy that quit comics. Stephen Platt.
What about that one guy who did Non-Player 1? I think he did a number 2 eventually.
Non-Player? Yeah. Non-Player was...
Non-Player was a non-player.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that book would sell for so much. The number 1. And I'm like, but why? I mean, it was a good story, but... And then
it was just the way that he did it. He was doing it... I don't know exactly how he was doing it, but it was all computerized or something the way he was doing it. And it was beautiful at the time for what he was able to do for it on a computer. And then I think he hurt his arm or something, and he couldn't finish the second one, at least not in the time frame that they
But
needed,
I mean, that thing, there were 3 years?
Between 3 or 4 years
between the issues.
Number 1 and 2.
But people were still asking high dollars for that number 1. I'm just like, man.
Well, I thought
but it was good.
Number 1 was good.
Yeah, it was. I just wish I
wanted
more.
2.
Right.
Non-Player 2.
Non-player 2. That never came about.
No.
Then there's a lot of books that come out and they do one issue and then just seem to fizzle.
Yeah.
So,
Well, how long did it take 4 kids walk into a bank to get 4 issues out? Like a year and a half?
Yeah.
there's
I've
one.
only read one issue of that. I have them all. I just haven't sat down and read them yet.
I never finished it. I
don't
got
think they
tired
did
of
either.
waiting on it. And, no, all 4 issues finally
Oh, did
came
they?
out.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they came out. I'm catching up on.
I'm still waiting for Riptide number 3 from Rob Liefeld.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm waiting on a lot of number 3s from Rob Liefeld.
Catching up on Joe Hill's his sequel to The Cape.
Me and the Cape, too.
Well, it's not called The Cape 2. It's called The Cape. I don't know, something else after that. But I read number 1. I'm part way through number 2 before I actually came up here. But it's still pretty good. I mean, I enjoy Joe Hill's writing. So.
Cold Spots was good.
Cold Spots was very good.
That's another book that, and I kind of made a comment about Colin Bunn being kind of a one-trick genre writer, and actually, I actually was wrong. He actually writes several different genres, but it seems like his favorite is always the horror.
Well, I mean,
Which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's
artists have, or writers,
Right.
they have a certain genre that they fit best. Like, you know, Brubaker's written every genre, but his best stuff is crime.
Right.
So,
But I did pick up Cold Spots. I picked it up when I was in at Madness yesterday in Texas, and I picked that up. And I'd already read it digitally, and so, but I enjoyed it. Yeah.
And there's a cool panel in there. At least I thought it was. That I almost missed. So check it out and see if you can notice that.
I was like, Kenny
that
and I did miss it because we were talking about it earlier, and I was like, I didn't realize, never noticed that.
you know, I may have noticed it had I
At
been
the end,
reading the
right.
book and not reading it on my phone.
Right.
Oh yeah. I don't know how you read this. I mean, I can read stuff on my pad, but on the phone, I don't know if I could. That's getting way too small for me.
That's
Yeah.
what she said.
Oh, and on that note,
Well,
we'll end it on that note there. So yeah.
That's what she said. Joke killed the whole podcast.
It killed it all.
It killed it.
We'll grab another.
Unless you got something else?
no.
Got anything? No.
No, not this week.
No. Yeah. This is
Not
kind
this
of an
podcast.
odd. No, this is kind of an odd.
I like your shirt though.
Thank you.
It's got a Spider-Man.
I do have a
Homecoming
Spider-Man
from
Homecoming.
it. That's nice.
It's one of the best Spider-Man movies in the last 10
Carrington
years.
watched what is one of the greatest vampire movies of all time last night.
What We Do in the Shadows?
What?
What'd you What'd you watch?
Lost Boys?
Oh, yes.
Boys.
Okay. Lost Boys. Yes.
Introducing her to Lost Boys, and that is.
You know, of all the vampire movies, that has got to be the greatest vampire movie. Hands down.
It's up there. It's a great movie.
Hands down. Sorry, the greatest Batman movie.
Vampires the way they're meant to be
vampire
written.
movie, yes.
Vicious killers.
They don't
Yes.
sparkle. Yes.
Yes, there's no such thing as sparkly vampires.
No. So.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of them I really like. I mean, I really like that one, the
Yeah, but you-
not the original Nosferatu, but the one. It's called something like it's Nosferatu.
The
something.
one about when they made
when they're
Nosferatu.
making the
Yes,
Nosferatu.
yes.
I
Yeah.
really enjoy that one.
That John Malkovich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he is a vampire. He's scary as anything
he
he's
can
in.
be scary. Yes,
Yeah. Pretty sure Tom Cruise is a vampire.
he's probably a sparkly vampire though.
But he looks the exact same now as he did when he was in Top Gun.
Yeah,
What's sad is that, yes, that's true.
maybe he's been on ice.
Maybe.
Super soldier serum.
Yeah. So
So yeah,
All right.
check us out. We've got. I want to give a shout out to Gary for getting the Facebook stuff rolling out. So we've been
And Twitter.
And Twitter.
He's been doing Twitter and
He's-
doing updates.
we've been
Thanks,
doing-
Gary. Appreciate it.
yeah, he's been doing the Twitter, the Gram,
might
and
actually
Facebook.
have him on the podcast
Yeah,
one of
we
these days.
will. Yeah. And so we've actually, it's like I'll log on Facebook and it's like, oh, boost this post, boost it. Wait,
He
whoa.
said he was going to hold us if he doesn't get a podcast. He's going to hold all the Facebook and Twitter stuff all on hostage.
Yeah, so we'll have
to get him on
We'll,
here.
we'll have a big show one day and have him on it. So. But yeah, definitely check out Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And that's all
That's
I've
it.
got. That's it.
All
Yeah.
right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Bye. Oh, this is Dalian.
Terry.
Kenny.
Carrington.
All right. Bye.